Good afternoon, and welcome to another match of the 2020 Okaloosa Schools Academic Tournament. I'm your host, Tucker Hanley. This year we have 7 schools from Okaloosa County going head-to-head in a double elimination tournament format. These standout students will be displaying their knowledge of math, science, history, fine arts, literature, pop culture, and more to determine our tournament champion for 2020. Carol Burnich will be our timekeeper and scorekeeper, while Matthew Bell will serve as our chief judge and make the final decisions on all things official. Paul McNeely is taking care of technology and making sure we make it to air. Today's teams, we've got Fort Walton Beach High School versus Choctawhatchee High School. The Vikings from Fort Walton will be coached by Miss Cindy Stone, and the Indians of Choctawhatchee will be coached by Sarah Ross and Kathy Moore. We're going to take a quick break and be right back to introduce our team members. Please stay tuned. Welcome back. Before we get started with the first half, let's have the teams introduce themselves. We'll start with the Vikings from Fort Walton.
I'm Grayson Lyles. I'm a senior at Fort Walton Beach High School.
I'm Savannah B. I am a junior at Fort Walton Beach High School.
I'm Joseph Hall. I'm a senior at Fort Walton Beach High School.
I'm Harrison Lucas. I'm a freshman at Fort Walton Beach High School.
And now the Indians of Choctawhatchee.
I'm Doug Meacham. I'm a sophomore from Choctawhatchee High School.
I'm Mason Newman. I'm a senior from Choctawhatchee High School.
I'm Isabella Negron. I am a freshman from Choctawhatchee High School.
And I'm Jose Morales, and I'm a senior from Choctawhatchee High School.
Everybody on your buzzers, this toss-up is in social studies. The American namesake of this city failed in his attempt to invade Canada in 1775. 9 years after the Supreme Court case that ruled its segregated bus system illegal, the 1965 civil rights marches began in Selma and ended in this city. What first capital city of the Confederacy and site of the 1955 Rosa Parks bus incident has been the capital of Alabama? It's going to be Fort Walton. Joseph.
Birmingham?
Birmingham is incorrect. That's an interrupt. I will repeat the entire question for Choctaw. The American namesake of this city failed in his attempt to invade Canada in 1775. 9 years after the Supreme Court case ruled that its segregated bus system was illegal, the 1965 civil rights marches began in Selma and ended in this city. What first capital city of the Confederacy and site of the 1955 Rosa Parks bus incident has been the capital of Alabama? It's going to be Isabella. Choctaw.
Montgomery.
Montgomery is correct. Your bonus is in literature. The novel Treasure Island tells of Jim Hawkins's adventures with a one-legged pirate. For the first half, name the pirate.
Long John Silver.
Yeah.
Long John Silver.
Long John Silver is correct. For the second half, this phrase of a pirate song in the novel precedes yo ho ho and a bottle of rum.
I'm going to defer to Isabella.
The Pirates song.
I'm sorry, the correct response, 15 men on a dead man's chest. Back on your buzzers, science. The heaviest part of this object is called a bob. This object's movement is related to gravity pulling down on it and to the tension in the string that holds up the bob. In this object's equilibrium position, the bob hangs straight down. A Newton's cradle includes 5 of these devices interacting. It's going to be Fort Walton, Savannah.
Pendulum.
Pendulum is correct. Your bonus is in math. Pencil and paper ready? Solve for x in each of these equations. The first half. 1/2 x plus 20 equals 2/3 x minus 8.
Time.
Sorry, not in time. Correct response, 168. Again, solve for x in this equation. 4.4x equals 88y minus 132.
Time.
Correct response, 20y minus 30. Back on your buzzers. In Babylonian myth, Gilgamesh and his friend fought one of these from heaven. In Greek myth, the city of Thebes was built where one of these animals rested. Jupiter took the form of a white one of this animal before it's going to be Fort Walton Beach, Savannah.
A bull.
A bull is correct. Cattle, cow, bull, all are accepted. Your bonus is in social studies. Name these countries where the United States has intervened militarily. First half. Ronald Reagan invaded this Caribbean nation in 1983 after its dictator, Maurice Bishop, was executed by a military junta of communists from this nation.
Okay. Coming from this nation.
I don't think Cuba was not.
Cuba
It's
was
not the right
never
dictator
invaded.
for Cuba.
Time.
The Philippines.
Sorry, correct response, Grenada. For the second half of the bonus, the CIA staged a coup against this country's leader, Mohammed Mosaddegh, in 1953, after he tried to nationalize an oil company controlled by the British.
Well, who's known for their oil?
Saudi Arabia, Iran. I think it's probably Iran.
Middle East. Okay, go for that one.
Iran.
Got it just in time. Iran is correct.
Nice.
Toss up math, pencil and paper. If f of x is 2x cubed minus 6x plus 5, give the value of f of x at x equaling negative 3. Got it in there, Derek. Choctaw.
15.
15 is incorrect. The balance of time to Fort Walton.
Time.
Negative 31 is correct response. Stay on your buzzers for social studies. In 2019, it reduced its weekly 3-hour Sunday meetings to 2 hours. Identify this church that also in 2019 clarified that cigarette substitutes like vaping and coffee-based products like lattes violate its health code, first given in 1833. It's going to be Fort Walton, Savannah.
The Church of Latter-day Saints. Or the Mormon Church.
We'll accept that, yes. Your bonus is in science. Answer these about alloys. This one of those is a combination of copper and tin.
Brass.
Is it bronze or brass? I think it's bronze.
I think it's bronze because of tin.
Bronze?
Bronze is correct. Second half, this type of material is the result of a metal combining with a non-metal to form a new material with different properties.
Metal wood, right?
A compound? It's not a
No,
metal.
Yeah, that's an element. I'm sorry.
It's.
You want wood compound?
Let's go with.
Compound.
Yeah, a compound. A compound?
Sorry, composite. Back to your buzzers. Fine arts. Artwork in this city includes a papier-mâché animatronic named Laughing Sal in its Musée Mécanique, the Klaus Oldenburg sculpture called Cupid's Span, and the Language of the Birds installation in its North Beach area. What California city's 26-foot sculpture Skygate is located on its Embarcadero, not far from its Ghirardelli Square. It's going to be Fort Walton, Grayson.
San Francisco.
San Francisco is correct. Sorry about the pronunciations. Your bonus is miscellaneous. Name these winners of the 2019 MTV Video Music Awards.
Oh boy.
First half, this group won Best Pop Song for their song Sucker.
Oh, the Jonas Brothers.
Yeah. The Jonas
The
Brothers?
Jonas Brothers is correct. Second half, this group won Best Rock for their song High Hopes.
It's
Oh.
Panic at the Disco.
Yes.
Panic at the Disco.
Panic at the Disco is correct. High academia, folks. Back on your buzzers for science. One result of this project's success was America's launch of a satellite from a Jupiter C rocket designed partly by Wernher von Braun. That satellite discovered the Van Allen belts around Earth. Name this first Soviet artificial satellite. It's going to be Fort Walton, Joseph.
Sputnik?
Sputnik is correct. Your bonus is in language arts. Give these Greek roots from their meanings in English. For your first bonus, both 4 letters.
Maybe
Con? No, that's not it.
Con.
Sorry, correct response, AMPH, A-M-P-H. The second half, heart, 5 letters.
Cardio.
Yeah, that's good.
Cardio.
Sorry, cardi, 5 letters. Toss up, miscellaneous, everybody on your buzzer. A concert stage in Columbia, Maryland, hundreds of miles from where this event took place, was nearly the setting for the 50th anniversary celebration of this event in 2019 before the celebration was canceled. Identify this festival of popular music in New York State, where Jay-Z and Santana did not perform in 2019, but where Jefferson Airplane, it's going to be Fort Walton, Savannah.
Woodstock.
Woodstock is correct. Social studies for your bonus. The Columbia River is the largest river in North America that flows into the Pacific Ocean. For your first bonus, it begins in this Canadian province.
What's the one that's farthest west?
Is that
Alberta.
British?
Alberta sounds right.
It's either. Let's go with Alberta.
Alberta.
British Columbia.
Oh.
Second half.
Sorry, I couldn't-
This site on the river in Washington State is America's most contaminated nuclear site.
What's that? The 3 Mile Island? No. That's East Coast.
It's the best thing we've got. 3 Mile Island.
Sorry, it's Hanford. Toss up in literature. Because he said he developed a love of books at the library in Waukegan, Illinois, that library added a statue of him in 2019 that pictures him sitting on a rocket ship. Named the science fiction author of S is for Space, The Day It Rained Forever, The Rocket Man, The Illustrated Man. It's going to be Fort Walton Grayson.
Bradbury.
Ray Bradbury is correct. Math for your bonus, pencil and paper. A square, ABCD, with an area of 900 square inches, is divided into 15 congruent right triangles and a smaller square, EFGH. Firstly, how long is each side of ABCD?
30.
It's got to equal 900
Yeah, it's 30. Whatever. What's the unit?
inches, square inches.
30 inches.
30 inches is correct. Second half, give the area of each right triangle if they each have a height of 14 inches and a base of 6 inches.
Get it right. So,
It's 42. 42 square inches.
yeah.
42 square inches.
42 square inches is correct.
And the half.
That's going to end our first half. We're going to tally up the score and come back with our second half of action. Please stay tuned. Welcome back. We've checked the scores. We've got a halftime score of Fort Walton Beach High School with 125 points and Choctawhatchee High School with 20 points. We do have a substitution this time. Let's go ahead and let them introduce themselves. Fort Walton Beach.
My name is Cedric. I am a senior at Fort Walton Beach High School.
All right, we'll get back to the action. Go ahead and on your buzzers, everybody. This is in math. Pencil and paper. Maybe. A pair of vectors can be described by this adjective if their cross product is 0. Spherical and hyperbolic geometries are derived from changing this fifth postulate in Euclid's geometry. Give this adjective for a pair of lines with the same slope that never intersect at any point. That's going to be Choctaw. Jose.
Parallel lines.
Parallel is correct. Social studies for your bonus. Before Wells and Fargo teamed up to begin Wells Fargo, they merged their companies to develop what is now this firm. First half, name this credit card company whose products include green, gold, platinum, and black cards.
Regions.
Sorry, American Express. Second half, American Express's card numbers are all 15 digits. Visa and MasterCard use this many digits.
16. 16.
16 is correct. On your buzzers. Social studies. It was not Nelson Mandela, but this woman who said, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure." Name this author of Everyday Grace and Healing the Soul of America, often considered a New Age spiritualist who spoke of dark psychic forces while running for the presidency in 2020 it's going to be Choctawhatchee Mason.
Marianne Williamson.
Marianne Williamson is correct. Miscellaneous for bonus. During the 2019 NFL season, one game was scheduled each week to mark a famous moment in NFL's 100-year history. The first week pitted the Chicago Bears against this longest-running rival.
Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay Packers is correct. The 49ers-Ravens game in Week 13 was a rematch of Super Bowl 47 when the coaches of both teams were brothers with this same last name.
Harbaugh.
Harbaugh.
Harbaugh is correct. On your buzzers for fine arts. In this composer's song, I Got Plenty of Nuttin', a title opera character doesn't mind being poor because he's got my gal, got my lord, got my song. After Nadine Bollinger rejected this composer's request to study classical music with her, he stayed in France and introduced taxi horns in his major work about Paris. Name this American composer of the opera Porgy and Bess with his brother Ira. Fort Walton, Savannah.
Gershwin?
Gershwin is correct. Bonuses in literature. In Greek myth, men sometimes turn into flowers when they die. First half, this youthful friend of Apollo turned into his namesake flower after being killed by a wayward discus.
Hyacinthus. Hyacinthus?
Hyacinthus is correct. Second half, this subject of a fight between Persephone and Aphrodite was killed by a boar while hunting, after which his blood became the anemone flower.
Adonis.
Adonis?
Adonis is correct.
Nice.
Toss up in science. This body part's 5 layers include one called the stroma and another called the Descemet's membrane. Name this part of the human eye. It's going to be Fort Walton Grayson.
Retina.
Retina is incorrect. It's an interrupt. Choctaw, you get the whole question. This body part's 5 layers include one called the stroma and another called Descemet's membrane. Name this part of the human eye located in front of the pupil and the iris that keeps out most of the dirt, allows in light, and is often transplanted from a deceased donor. Jose.
The Irish. Irish.
Either way, incorrect. The corona.
Crow.
Corona. Everybody say on your buzzers for this toss-up in language arts. Correct the grammar error in the following sentence. Each of you must decide for yourselves. It's going to be Fort Walton, Savannah.
Each of you must decide for yourself.
Correct. Science is your bonus. The Köppen classification system uses capital letters to classify climate worldwide. The system ranks biomes by this parameter by using capital letters from A through E.
Maybe temperature?
Yes.
Climate.
It's either let's go with temperature. Temperature?
Temperature is correct. Second half, the areas with the capital A are described as tropical, with subcategories rainforest and this tropical storm.
Hurricane?
Hurricane.
Typhoon?
Monsoon.
Hurricane?
Monsoon. Toss up. Social studies. This law was written to help protect the ozone layer. The Environmental Protection Agency was empowered by this law to create and enforce air quality standards and emission standards for major polluters. Amended twice since its original passage in 1970, What piece of legislation that makes America an easier place to breathe is known by its initials CAA? It's going to be Choctaw Mason.
The Clean Air Act.
Clean Air Act is correct. Fine arts for your bonus. Name these places where you would find puppet or marionette theaters. The bunraku type of puppet theater is popular in this country.
Japan.
Japan is correct. This Austrian city has a marionette theater that shows the sound of music from time to time.
Vienna.
Salzburg. Toss up. Miscellaneous. Emmett Kelly played this type of character as a sad tramp, while Joseph Grimaldi is said to be the first of these to perform in whiteface. This type of character includes Canio and Nedda in the opera Pagliacci. What type of performers' most famous examples today include Ronald McDonald, Fort Walton, Grayson?
Clowns.
Clowns is correct. Social studies for your bonus. Give these brand names owned by the company Johnson & Johnson. This was the first chewing gum developed to help people quit smoking.
Nicogum? That's the best I got.
I don't know.
Nicogum?
Nicorette. Second half, this is the company's brand of ibuprofen.
Advil?
Is
Is it Advil or Motrin? Advil?
Yeah.
Motrin. Toss up. Math, pencil and paper. Each month, Foothills Education gets 3,000 prospects through its website. 90% of prospects ask for a catalog, and 2/3 of those who ask for a catalog place an order with a credit card. How many credit card orders does Foothill Education receive each month? It's going to be Choctaw Derek.
1,800.
1,800 is correct. Your bonuses are in science. Answer these about steps of cellular respiration. This energy molecule is produced during oxidative phosphorylation.
ATP.
ATP is correct. Second half, the citric acid cycle within respiration is also named for this German scientist who studied the cycle in the 1950s.
The Kelvin cycle.
Kelvin cycle.
Krebs cycle. Toss up in social studies. At this battle on the plains, fought without the aid of Sparta, the Athenians defeated a large Persian army by pushing back against Persian lines. It's going to be Choctaw Mason.
Battle of Marathon.
Battle of Marathon is correct. Math for your bonus. Give your answers to these exponents problems in the form directed. First half, as an exponent, 4 to the 12th quantity to the 3rd power.
4 to the 36th power.
4 to the 36th power is correct. Second half, as a fraction, 8 to the negative 9th times 8 to the 7th.
Defer.
1/8 to the negative 2.
Sorry, it's 1/64. Toss up in literature, everybody on your buzzer. This character investigates the attempted murder of a small child by his half-brother's poisoned darts in a story called The Adventure of the Sussex Vampire. Name this detective who often annoys the Scotland Yard Inspector Gregson. Choctaw, Isabella.
Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes is correct. Your bonus is in social studies. He was exiled for 3 years after killing his neighbor Thorgest for not returning his ornamented seat posts. First half, name this explorer who fell off his horse on the way to a boat and decided not to go on the expedition where his son discovered Vinland.
Eric the Red.
Eric the Red is correct. Second half, this home country of Eric the Red was formerly the western portion of the Kalmar Union.
Norway.
Norway is correct.
End of the match.
That's the end of our match. We're going to tally up the score and come back and declare our winner. Please stay tuned.
Cox started partnering with the Blue Wahoos during their inaugural season back in 2012. Most recently, we brought the new Cox Clubhouse to the stadium and the in-stadium Wi-Fi that really allows fans to connect with the experience in an even deeper way now.
When you look at the Wahoos, we always did really well in fan experience, except in one area, and that was connectivity. And so when we did this with Cox, we were pretty excited because we went from worst to first in the world of connectivity in minor league baseball.
Welcome back. We've tallied the final score of this match, and we have a final score: Fort Walton Beach High School with 180 points and Choctawhatchee High School with 160 points. Congratulations to Fort Walton Beach on today's win. Remember, this is a double elimination format, so Choctaw still has the opportunity to come back from today's loss. We'd like to thank our sponsors at General Dynamics and Microsystems for their generous support. Thank you to our broadcast partner, Cox Communications, and we thank you for joining us on the Okaloosa Schools Academic Tournament. I'm Tucker Hanley saying goodbye for now, and we hope that you'll join us for our next match.